Origin Unexplained.
This is Origin Unexplained, and I'm Sue, and tonight we're digging into one of the most controversial figures to ever walk the marbled halls of the Vatican. A man who claimed he read secrets locked away in the church's inner vaults, who spoke of real demons, Vatican corruption, and spiritual warfare so intense it nearly tore him apart. Was he a whistleblower, a liar, or someone who saw too much and simply unraveled? This is the story of Malachi Martin, former Jesuit priest, Vatican insider, and alleged exorcist. A man who once stood at the heart of the Catholic Church, then turned his back on it all and started talking loudly about what he saw and what he feared and what he believed was coming. So, Malachi Martin once said the smoke of Satan has entered the church. He didn't mean that metaphorically. According to him, evil had a physical foothold inside of the Vatican, not just influence but literal presence. He described demons walking the halls of the Holy See rituals, pacts, corruption, not just of men but of spirit. This wasn't just a warning, it was a confession from someone who claimed to have seen it with his own eyes. Not from the outside looking in, but from deep within the church's highest inner circle. Martin's story starts far from Rome, though. He was born in Ireland in 1921, brilliant, gifted with languages, and fiercely religious. By the time he reached adulthood, he had joined the Jesuits, one of the most elite and intellectual orders of the Catholic Church. Now, he wasn't just a priest. He became a Vatican insider, a theologian, an exorcist, and a trusted advisor to popes. So, what happened to him? Why did a man so devoted to the church suddenly start writing books about demonic possession, corruption, and secret factions within the Vatican itself? Why did he leave the Jesuits? Why did he begin to unravel? And if that's what he even did. Because to hear him tell it, he didn't lose faith. He saw what was really going on, and it broke him. He worked directly under Cardinal Augustine Bay, one of the most powerful men during the Second Vatican Council. That meant he had access to the inner chambers, the documents the public never sees, and the conversations that shape doctrine. He translated ancient texts, studied arcane theology, and by his own account, witnessed spiritual decay at the highest level. He claimed that during this time, when the church was modernizing and shifting its public face, something darker was slipping in behind the curtain. He said certain clergy were engaging in occult practices and that secret societies had gained influence, that Luciferian enthronement ceremonies and had taken place inside the Vatican itself. So most people would dismiss that as nonsense, all right? But Martin insisted that it was real. He said the church had been infiltrated, not by politics, but by something far more ancient. And when he tried to raise the alarm, he was shut down, silenced, and some say threatened. That's when he left the Jesuits. He kept his priestly vows, but cut ties with the order and moved to the United States. From there, he started writing, first theological texts, and then controversial bestsellers like Hostage to the Devil, which detailed 5 real-life exorcisms, and Windswept House, a so-called fictional novel that many believe was a veiled account of actual events inside the Vatican, including satanic rituals and the cover-up of child abuse. He claimed the devil was not just influencing the church. He claimed the devil had been enthroned there. Published in 1996, Windswept House was promoted as fiction, but Martin openly admitted that around 85% of it was true. Names, locations had changed only to protect people involved, or maybe to protect himself. The most shocking scene was a Luciferian enthronement ritual taking place inside the Vatican, coordinated with another ceremony in the United States to spiritually install Satan at the center of the Catholic Church. He didn't say this was symbolic. He said it actually happened. The book describes high-ranking clergy participating, secret codes, locked rooms, and dark oaths under the cover of holy institutions. Martin claimed he knew the priests involved, that they still walked the halls of the church holding power. He warned this takeover was part of a global plan to corrupt the church from within, using modernism, scandal, and distraction as weapons. His earlier book, Hostage to the Devil, laid out 5 cases of demonic possession and the priests who fought them. He insisted they were real and said he himself assisted in several exorcisms where the possessed levitated, spoke unknown languages, or showed superhuman strength. In one case, he said, almost killed him. In July 1999, he was in his late 70s, still speaking out and still a thorn in the Vatican's side. Then suddenly, he fell. The official story is that he had tripped over a rug in a friend's home, hit his head, and suffered a brain hemorrhage. He never recovered, rather slipped into a coma and died a few days later. But those close to him said that just before he fell, he claimed that something had pushed him. He told his friend he had been under spiritual attack. Something dark had followed him, not figuratively, but literally. An entity that attached to him after a final interview. He said he was being watched, became agitated and paranoid, avoided certain rooms, and then boom, he was gone. Was that paranoia, age, or did something finally catch up with him? There was no investigation, no autopsy, just a quiet funeral and a legacy filled with whispers. To this day, people debate whether Malachi Martin was a whistleblower, a prophet, a madman, or all three. He once said that evil doesn't need to destroy the church to win, only to sit quietly within it. He believed the infiltration he spoke about was a template, a method for corrupting any institution that deals in faith, truth, or influence. And his words have aged strangely well. Today, the Vatican still faces waves of scandal, financial secrecy, abuse cases, and internal division, and each time something surfaces, people return to Martin's books and ask, was this what he saw coming? He warned that demonic influence wouldn't always look like spinning heads or growling voices. Sometimes it would wear robes, smile for cameras, or call itself progress. If he was right, even partly, then the smoke he talked about never left the sanctuary. It just learned to blend in with the incense. You've been listening to Origin Unexplained, where we dig into what's hidden, what's buried, and what's never supposed to be spoken out loud. Tonight's story wasn't just about one man losing his faith. It was about what happens when you get too close to something you're not meant to see and what it costs to speak up. If Malachi Martin was right, the war he warned us about isn't over. It's just quieter now. Until next time, keep watching what's beneath the surface, because sometimes it's walking right behind you. I'm Sue, and this was Origin Unexplained. If you have a story you would like told, or you'd like to be in a podcast, all you have to do is email us at originunexplained, and that's UNX, no E in there, PLAINED @gmail.com.
Origin Unexplained.